remains our big story for the end of the work week here with heat advisories in effect, but we're also keeping a closer eye on the tropics. Luckily, we still have several more days to watch our tropical wave, but you can see a lot more active this morning with showers and storms. In fact, down here near Puerto Rico, near the Dominican Republic, a big burst of showers and storms this morning. So this is going to be the zone we're watching today and tomorrow. Now, it's not going to do anything today or tomorrow. It doesn't look like anything, at least wild. It's going to be mainly hanging out near the islands and Cuba. Now, once we get into the weekend, we're talking Saturday into Sunday. Notice the latest update has a higher chance of development in the eastern Gulf, up to about a 60% chance here. So it's still not a slam dunk forecast, but the trends have been for more of a Gulf system rather than a off the East Coast system. So here we are through the weekend. Development is going to be possible. A tremendous amount of uncertainty still exists, though, because the nature of this tropical wave, it's big and it doesn't have a center yet. So we're going to be waiting days probably before we really start to lock in on this forecast. It's traveling over mountainous terrain, too. That can have an impact on where a center of circulation is. Is it south of the islands out here? Or is it north of the islands? That's going to have a big impact on where it jumps off once it's in the eastern and southeastern Gulf. So our two models here, the global models, the European and the GFS, the American, they're showing whatever's down here is going to remain very weak and unorganized through about Friday. But once we get into Saturday, notice we start to see some hints that both models are showing spin in the eastern Gulf. Placement a little bit off, but that's to be expected. And then once we get into Sunday and Monday, you can see there perhaps a tropical depression or even Debbie moving towards the panhandle of Florida. This would happen around Monday of next week. So that part of the forecast, there's still a lot of uncertainty, but things get even worse and more uncertain as we get into next week. Things begin to slow down and stall out, and that's when you throw a lot of chaos in the system, because a slow-moving tropical system is one of the hardest things to predict. Why do we think it's going to slow down, whatever's out there? Well, in the near term, it's riding around the ridge. Why is it making the turn to the north up in the eastern Gulf? Well, a trough is digging down, and that's going to pull it to the north. But as it begins to pull it to the north, the trough is leaving, and guess what's coming back? The big ridge. So if that tropical system is still hanging down around here, it misses the ridge completely, or it misses the trough completely, and as the ridge builds in, that's like a wall. It'll slow down, and then that's when you can get those chaotic movements. Now, one thing for sure, it looks like it's going to rain in Florida this weekend. I think that's a pretty good bet here. A lot of tropical moisture is coming this way, but overall, there's still some uncertainty on how much the system tries to organize out here in the eastern Gulf. Certainly something to follow through the weekend.